Air travel seems like a simple business. Sell a ticket, carry a passenger, make a profit. In reality, it's the exact opposite. A ticket isn't the actual product, it's the bait. The real business starts after the purchase. If airlines only made money from tickets, it would be one of the worst businesses in the world. Fuel is expensive, planes are expensive, maintenance is expensive, and every mistake costs millions. Yet, airlines survive for decades. Some even stay consistently profitable. The question is, how? Let's break it down. Why do tickets barely make any money? First, jet fuel. It's the biggest variable cost. Prices depend on oil and geopolitics. A tiny price spike can eat the entire profit of a flight. Second, the planes themselves. They cost money 24/7, whether they're flying or not. Most are leased or financed. The payments never stop, even during a downtime. Third, maintenance. You can't optimize safety. Every check is strictly regulated. It happens on a fixed schedule, no matter what. Fourth, the crew. They have fixed contracts and high training costs. Because of strict hour limits, personnel stay expensive, even if flights are cut. Fifth, airport fees, landing, parking, and passenger fees. Airports take their cut for every single person, regardless of how cheap the ticket was. Sixth, competition. The market sets the price. If you raise fares, passengers immediately switch to another carrier. Seventh, full planes aren't always profitable. If seats were sold through promos or low fares, the airline might still be in the red. And finally, disruptions. One major delay or cancellation means hotels and compensation. That one mistake can wipe out the profits of dozens of other flights. When did loyalty programs change everything? In the 1980s, airlines launched loyalty programs as a simple marketing tool. The idea was basic: encourage passengers to fly more, tie them to the brand, and stand out from the competition. At first, it looked like a standard bonus system. Fly today, get a free flight tomorrow. But very quickly, airlines noticed something. Passengers weren't rushing to spend those miles. Most people saved them for years, waiting for that perfect moment. Some customers never used them at all. They changed routes, they lost interest, or they simply forgot they had them. This meant the airline got the loyalty and the future commitment without any immediate cost. Then came the big realization. Miles aren't an expense for today. They are a promise for the future, a promise that can be delayed, a promise that can be restricted, or even changed. Airlines realized they had created a system where they could issue their own currency. They controlled the points, they controlled the rules, and they managed the value. That is how loyalty programs stopped being just marketing and became the foundation of the financial model. Miles became the company's internal currency. How did the banks get in on this? Once airlines realized miles were a controlled currency, the banks saw a massive opportunity. They wanted to link these miles to everyday spending, to make them part of the payment system. The model was simple. Banks promote miles through their credit cards, and in exchange, they buy those miles from the airline with cold, hard cash. Every time a customer swipes their card, the bank pays the airline for the miles earned, even though creating those miles costs the airline almost nothing. The result? The airline gets liquid cash right now, while that free flight is pushed years into the future, or never happens at all. For banks, miles are even better than cash back. They feel more valuable to the customer. They motivate people to spend more and keep the card longer. For airlines, this partnership is a gold mine. It's a stable revenue stream that doesn't depend on ticket sales. Over time, selling miles to banks became so huge that for some airlines, this income is higher than the profit from flying planes. At this point, airlines aren't just carriers anymore. They are issuers of a financial currency, distributed to millions of people by the banks. When did the truth finally come out? For a long time, this was just a theory. Airlines didn't have to disclose the true value of their loyalty programs. To the outside world, it just looked like another side of the business. Then, the world stopped. During the COVID-19 pandemic, air travel vanished. Planes were grounded. But the expenses? They didn't go anywhere. Airlines were hemorrhaging cash. To survive, they needed billions in loans. And like any loan, the banks demanded collateral. But here's the thing. As a transportation business, airlines weren't attractive. They were burning money. Their planes weren't flying. Their market value was crashing. So, the airlines offered the only thing that was still making money, even with an empty sky: their loyalty programs. When these deals went public, the market saw the real numbers for the first time. And they were shocking. The loyalty programs were worth as much as, or even more than, the airlines themselves. It meant that the actual flying part, the planes, the crews, the routes, was worth almost nothing financially. In some cases, it had negative value. The only real asset? The system that sells miles to banks. The system that keeps people locked in a financial cycle for years. Now, it all makes sense. This is why airlines sell tickets with almost no profit. This is why they fly losing routes. The entire travel experience is a carefully designed script. The credit card ads at the airport, the status lounges, the priority lines, the credit card pitches in the middle of your flight. These aren't extra perks. They are the core of the business. Flights exist to keep the financial system running, not the other way around. Modern airlines aren't really transportation companies anymore. They are financial platforms. They use planes as a tool to capture your money, your attention, and your time. When you look at it this way, it's obvious. The logic of the airline industry isn't aimed at the sky. It's aimed at the bank balance. How do airports monetize your every step? There's another layer to the system that people rarely talk about. Airport shops. Today, an airport isn't just a transportation hub. It's a shopping mall with planes. Stores, restaurants, and duty-free shops pay massive rent for the right to be there. Why? Because every passenger has already passed security. You're trapped. You have time. And psychologically, you're ready to spend. The more people pass through the terminal, the higher the rent. Passenger flow is the real product. This is why it's profitable for airlines to move as many people as possible, even at rock-bottom ticket prices. The ticket might barely break even, but once that person is in the airport, they trigger a chain of revenue: rent, sales percentages, commissions, partner payouts. Airports share this income with the airlines through discounts, bonuses, and contracts. In the end, a flight is just a delivery service. It delivers a customer to a commercial zone where the real money is made. You aren't just a passenger. You are a shopper in a terminal. Your time, your attention, and your path through the lounges are all part of the model. The plane just brings you to the place where they actually start profiting from you. If you look at the whole picture, the tickets, the miles, the banks, the cards, the duty-free, and the rent, it's obvious. Airlines don't live off transportation anymore. Transportation is just the fuel for a massive financial and retail machine. That works on you at every single step of your journey. Why does the passenger almost always lose? The passenger loses because they aren't a customer in the traditional sense. They are a resource in a system they don't control. Miles feel like a free reward, but in reality, they are a deferred debt with terms the airline can change at any moment. The airline decides how many miles a flight costs. They decide when seats are available. They decide which routes you can take. Over time, miles devalue, availability shrinks, and taxes and fees keep going up. But the loss doesn't end there. Even when you buy the cheapest ticket, you're fueling a massive financial machine. Your presence in the airport creates the foot traffic that shops and restaurants pay for. The more people in the terminal, the higher the rent. The airport makes a fortune, and the airlines get their cut through deals and discounts. You spend time in waiting areas. You're guided through retail corridors. Every minute of your journey is a monetization opportunity for the system. While you save miles for years, the airline has already received real cash for them from the banks. The airports and shops have already profited from your movement. Some miles will never be used, others will lose their value. In the end, you think you're saving money, but you're actually holding an asset you don't control, while financing a system that profits from you at every single step. If this video helped you see airlines in a different light, subscribe to the channel. Here, we break down businesses that seem simple, but actually make money in ways most people never imagine. Hit the like button if this was helpful, and tell us in the comments, which industry should we break down next? See you in the next video.